The Fisherman and the Bottle. The fisherman was having a very bad day. The first time he had cast his nets into the Arabian Sea, all he had pulled out was a broken boot. The second time he had pulled out a broken pot full of mud. The third time he had cast his nets, and all he had pulled was an old copper bottle. But there was something about the bottle that stopped the fisherman from hurling it back into the deeps. Perhaps it was the way the stopper glinted in the light, or maybe it was the strange wax seal around the neck, highly decorated with strange markings. It might even have been the fact that the fisherman could have sworn he heard a faint noise coming from inside. In any case, something made the fisherman plunge his hand into his pocket for his penknife, slash the wax seal around the neck, and draw out the heavy stopper. The fisherman turned the copper bottle upside down and shook it. All that came out was a trickle of dust as fine as sand, a trickle of dust that seemed to blow upwards with the wind instead of falling down, a trickle of dust that became a wisp of smoke, a wisp of smoke that became a puff of mist, a puff of mist that became a cloud billowing overhead, a cloud that formed huge feet and legs, an enormous body, strong arms and hands, and a massive, fierce, bald head with golden earrings and a long moustache and cruel eyes. In other words, there was a gigantic genie towering over him. "Kneel before me, you spawn of a quivering jellyfish," the genies roared, "and prepare to meet your death." "What have I done?" the terrified fisherman begged, falling to the sand. "I know the story of Aladdin and the genie of the lamp. Haven't I set you free? Aren't you meant to grant me wishes?" "You have indeed set me free," the gigantic genie bellowed, "but it is far too late for wishes. For the first 100 years that I was trapped inside that copper prison, I indeed swear that I would grant 3 wishes to anyone who set me free, no matter how greedy they were. But no one helped me, and I grew impatient. For the next 200 years I swore that I would give never-ending riches to anyone who set me free, but no one helped me, and I grew angry. For the next 500 years I swore that I would give an entire kingdom to anyone who set me free, but no one helped me, and I grew furious. It was then that I swore that the very next person I saw would taste my revenge. Now I have been trapped inside that copper prison for 2000 years, and it is you who will have the honor of receiving my punishment." The fisherman shuddered as the genie drew an enormous shining curved sword from his belt. He began to think fast if there was some way he could save himself. To the genie's astonishment, the fisherman gave a friendly wink. "Come on now," the fisherman smirked. Enough of this fooling around. The way you appeared from nowhere like that was really very impressive. But I should tell you that I simply don't believe in magic." "What do you mean you don't believe in magic?" the genie roared. His face was black as soot. "Well, sorcerers and genies and spellons, no one believes in all that old rubbish nowadays," sniggered the fisherman scornfully. "Old rubbish?" blustered the genie, quite lost for words. "So we have both had a bit of a laugh and a joke, haven't we?" continued the fisherman, quite calmly. "Now you just tell me where you hit to make it look like you came out of the bottle, and I'll congratulate you on your fantastic trick. Then you can tell me where you are going to perform your conjuring show next time, and I'll promise to bring lots of gullible friends who will pay good money to watch you. And then we'll both shake hands on it and go home to our wives. What do you say?" "How dare you call me a fake?" boomed the raging genie as green smoke hissed out of his ears. "I'll show you that I'm real. I'll show you that I'm the most terrifying genie that ever came out of a bottle. I'll prove it to you by getting back into it right now." Suddenly the genie's massive face began to melt. His arms and legs began to blur, and his huge body began to shimmer in the air. His features became formless and shifting like a great cloud of mist. Then the cloud narrowed into a spiral of smoke that funneled round and down, and right into the neck of the bottle. As the very last wisp disappeared inside, the fisherman grabbed the heavy stopper and rammed it into the neck of the bottle as hard as he could. "I shall never cast another net as long as I live," gasped the swearing fisherman, and he hurled the bottle as far as he could out into the ocean. As if you are as you So if you are ever at the beach and you see a copper bottle bobbing about in the water or washed up on the shore, be very careful before you open it, won't you? The fisherman and the